everyone, it's Perseus the Bookworm here. This might look like the same outfit I was wearing literally last video. That's because I am. It's because I'm filming both the same day. I found the perfect opportunity to film without my mum hearing me talk to myself, so I thought I'll quickly do it now. You'll see two books that I had in the last video. That's because I literally read them straight away, pretty much after Christmas. One of them straight away after Christmas, and the next one like a few days later, or like a day or two later. So yeah, so that's why if you see those two books and you're like, what they just in the last video, that's because they literally were. So, because I just read them that fast, they weren't that hard to read, because it's literally just pictures with spitballs and all that. So let's get this started with, and I've got my Goodreads up here. Not that you're gonna be able to see it very well, but I've got my Goodreads here. I'll literally be looking at the, see, you're not gonna be able to see it. Oh, you can faintly see it, but it's like very blown out. So I've got my reading list here, and I'm literally going to be looking at this in which order. I'm going to go by order this time. So from literally down here, from where the first book I read, all the way up to the most recent one. So let's go. The first one I read in 2023 was Felix Ever After by Case and Calendar. This book is about a trans mask male named Felix, and he has been out for a while, and he's a person of colour, so he feels like he's marginalised a few too many, because he's queer, he's bisexual, he's trans, and he's a person of colour, and he wants to find someone who generally loves him for him, not realising that there's someone literally right in front of him who likes him. Then he finds out, well, not finds out, it's a very obvious display of which, trigger warning for those who do deal with it, because it is a very prevalent thing that trans people deal with, transphobia. He goes to this school where he wants to do very well in art, and they have these things called galleries, I believe that's what they're called, where they display their artwork that they made in their class, and they basically make portfolios and hope to get into a really good college, I think. And he finds, in this particular gallery, he finds a pre-trans photo of him, like a pre-transition photo of him, and that him and his friend Ezra try and find out who posted this transphobia photo of him, or transphobic photo of him, which finds out to be Ezra's partner at the time. Spoiler. So yeah. So if you do want to read this, I do want to give you a heads up, there is transphobia in this book. It's like one of the main themes of this book. It's literally has transphobic things in it. Well, not transphobic things, but more like transphobia is a theme in this. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, Felix Ever After. The next one I read was literally one that I said last time in a video like this. I did not get it, so I'll be right back. I knew I was forgetting something. Turns out there was two books I was forgetting. But I knew I was forgetting something anyway. So the next book I read was, which like I just said before getting up, was that I literally said I wanted to read this book this year, and I ended up doing it. It was the second book I read this year, which was Everything by Nicola Yoon. So yeah, this book is about a girl named Madeline, or prefers to go by Maddie, and she has this, it was like severe combined immunodeficiency, that's what it's called, but she's basically allergic to everything. One single illness could take her out, basically. And then there's a new neighbor next door named Ollie who likes her. It's kind of like I wouldn't say like love at first sight thing, but she's interested in what he has to say and all that stuff. They really start to get along, and then she decides to sneak out one day and have a little trip with Ollie, despite her circumstance of her being allergic to the outside world, basically. And she has a severe reaction to something, but it's not because of what she originally thought it was. It's because it's possibly the food was contaminated or something like that, or she had a genuine reaction to a type of food, and that's when she finds out that she actually doesn't have severe combined immunodeficiency thing. her mum was just kind of like, I wouldn't say making it up, but it's kind of like a Munchausen situation. So she finds out that she's actually not allergic to the world, but because she was kept inside for so long, she basically has the immune system of like an infant, if that's what I remember correctly. So yeah, everything. Definitely worth a read, I think. It was an easy read because it's like chapters are different. So yeah. Next one was, I'll do the next two next because I read these in order, like right after, because I was watching Supernatural, which by the way I put that show on hold simply because it was a long ass show and I don't have the time for it at the moment. So I read these two literally like not that far apart from each other, I think, which is Heartstopper Volume 2 and Heartstopper Volume 3. Now these are basically one after another. This one is basically, I think, when they start to slowly realize that they like each other or not. But and this one, they go on a trip. I remember that one. They go on a trip in this one. So yeah, pretty self-explanatory what these Heartstopper is about by now. I do have Heartstopper Volume 4, but that one comes later. Next one is Bones and All by Camille DeAngelis. And yes, this is the movie cover version. I don't mind movie cover versions actually, so yeah. Bones and All is about Marine and how she is what they call themselves. I can't remember what they call themselves, but they're basically cannibals, basically, and they basically eat people. And how her and this, it's her mother. In the movie, it's a father that goes away. How her mother says, I can't look after you anymore, you better survive on yourself. So she tries to go find her father, which for some reason I was imagining Adam Driver as her father. I don't know why, he just seemed like the perfect fit for it. I don't know why. Which, that's not the case in the movie. In the movie, it's someone else, I don't know. Not that what's the word? Not that I'm scrutinizing the cast. I have no. It was still good casting. I just kept imagining Adam Driver as her father. Don't know why. She ended up finding her father with the help of Lee, who's another cannibal, by the way. And she finds out that he was a cannibal as well. He's eaten one of his hands off. So definitely graphic, I can say that for sure. So, yeah, Bones and All. There is more to it, but I'm not sure if I want to go too in depth because it is quite graphic as well. But not as graphic as like two later ones I'm going to read. Say out loud. So next one was this one called Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall. This is about a guy named Luke O'Donnell who is the son of two basically famous parents who were famous in the 80s. One photo of him like in a maid outfit running out of a party and tripping and falling, all because of an incident of someone who likes him, and he wants to restore his reputation because the place he works at says if you don't figure out or like redeem yourself, we're gonna fire you. So he does that with someone named Oliver, who is basically the opposite of Luke. Sorry, the lights just went out for a second. And they basically just said, Luke's just like, I want you to come to this function with me to basically restore my reputation. And Oliver does agree, but on the terms that he comes to his family thing with him. Luke goes to his family thing with him. And that's where they would want to cut it off, basically. And at the end of it, when they start to get too close, Oliver wants to cut it off, which Luke is not fond about because he really started to like Oliver. That's the premise of Boyfriend Material. I do have the second one, but I haven't read it yet, so yeah. Boyfriend Material. The next one was Carrie by Stephen King. I started reading this because at the beginning of this semester, this was on the recommended list for one of my units, and I thought I'll start reading it because just in case we end up discussing it, which spoiler, we didn't. I read it anyway because it was on my reading list anyway, so it was on my TBR. This is about a girl named Carrie who has the power of telekinesis. basically be able to move objects with her mind. But she is the bullied one at school, and she gets her first time of the month, and she gets bullied for that. In order to try and make it up, one of the girls asks her boyfriend Tommy Ross, to go to prom with Kerry, even though that makes her not go to prom because he doesn't have a date. At the end of it all, it goes downhill because they still bullied Kerry because pig's blood gets poured all over her, which makes her go a little bit mad. So yeah, Kerry, Steve. It's a lot different from the movies, I can say that for sure. And this comes from someone who's watched only the original one, the 1978 one, I think it was, or 76. It was one of them. Now this one is the one that I read next. This one was technically while I was reading another one, but I was worried I wouldn't finish that book in time, which I ended up did. But I read it just in case because I didn't know if I was going to finish it in time, which was Heartstopper Volume 4. So yeah, this one was the sadder one because if I remember correctly, let me just try and find it. Is this the one that I think it was? I think this was. Oh my god, why can't I find it? I remember. If I remember correctly, this one was the one where Charlie gets help with his eating disorder. Yeah, this is the one where he gets help for his eating disorder. Because he goes off somewhere to get this help with an eating disorder. So yeah, that's what I believe anyway. That's if I remember correctly. So yeah. Sorry. This next one, which is the one that I was reading Volume 4 of Heartstopper through, because again I didn't think I would finish this in time, which is Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This is about the first son of the President of America named Alex and the Prince of Wales named Henry, how they kind of ruin the cake and they have to kind of make up, like, they lie that they're really friends and it was just meant to be a good old joke, and then they slowly actually realize that they actually do like each other, but Henry's not allowed to expose that because not allowed, and Alex realizes he's bisexual, and then their emails get leaked because they sent secret emails to each other, but the emails get leaked and it gets all exposed, and Alex doesn't want to call it quits because he likes Henry too much, but they find out that them being in a relationship was basically a good way to help Alex's mother win the election. So yeah, Red, White, Royal Blue. There we go. Next one was Spider-Man Fake Red, story and art by Yusuke Osawa. This is basically about how Peter Parker goes missing and there's no Spider-Man to save people from crimes, serious situations. And this one guy, finds Spider-Man's suit and tries to fill in for Spider-Man, and he's kind of bad at it because he doesn't know how it works, how the Spider-Man suit works. He managed to save a few people from crime, but then, yeah, he basically, he realizes he's not really fit to be Spider-Man. So yeah, that one. I just got a lot of books here because I'm realizing that I'm literally filming these back to back, and I didn't put the ones that I got for Christmas back. So, not that I really could because I needed 2 of them for this video anyway. So, the next one was The Perks Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. I read this while I was on holiday and I finished it while I was on holiday. I started it like a month before the holiday, finished it while I was on holiday. So this is about a student named Charlie who is starting high school, and he's writing to this friend because he feels like this friend is the only person that will listen to him. He's basically writing down his like experience of starting high school, and he realizes at the end what his Aunt Helen really did to him when he was younger. I kind of got that while I was watching the movie, because I did watch the movie like ages ago, and I kind of got that like halfway through the film that something did happen to Charlie, which I ended up being right, which I didn't like. This is the one thing I wanted to be wrong on, but I ended up being right on. And he kind of like comes to terms with it and tries to get better. So, the perks of being a wallflower. And if you didn't know what a wallflower was, basically someone who basically just watches and observes people. So yeah, perks of being a wallflower. Now these last two books are ones that I got for Christmas as well. So that, remember what I said earlier, if these two look very familiar, that is why. So the last two books I read in 2023 were Killing Stalking, Volume 1 by Kugi, and also by Kugi, Volume 2 of Killing Stalking. If you don't know what Killing Stalking is, and you don't want to watch the previous video, it's about this guy named Yoon Bum, who loves this guy Oh Sang Woo, and he comes to realize that Sang Woo is not this charming person really after all, and he's basically trapped within Oh Sang Woo's house to do what he does in order to survive and not die, basically. And if he tries to escape, he gets punished. Not that people really believe him anyway. So, yeah. People are a bit iffy about this series, and after reading these two volumes, I can definitely see why some people are a bit iffy about it. It is an interesting series, but I kind of fear what volume 3 and 4 bring to the table. And I had a look, and there is more volumes of this series. It's just a matter of, do I actually want to read more? Because I'm not sure it's be okay to show it on YouTube, but I'll try anyway. And I'm only saying this because like it's really fresh in my mind. This is why people are kind of iffy about it. If you can see it properly, no, you can't really, but it's I can see why people are a bit iffy about it. I can definitely see why people are a bit iffy about it. So yeah, those are all the books I read this year. That's a total of 13 books read this year. Yeah, just looking at my Goodreads. My goal was 10. I ended up reading 13. And I guess that's because literally Heartstopper is a very easy read. And then also the Spider-Man one was an easy read. And literally also Killing Stalking was an easy read as well. Because these ones are literally just mangas / manhwas. They're literally just photos and texts coming up. So yeah, those are all the books I read this year. Yay. I have no solid plan of what I want to read next year. I don't know. I really don't know. I'll see you all next time. Bye.